You ordered what?
It does it every time. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Dean Callan Show. I've chopped my forehead off. I don't know how I've chopped my forehead off. What have I done here on my atom floor? No, I've just gotten taller. I'll just lean back on the bar like this. Right, so today is Insane in the Grain Part 5? I think it's Part 5. I'm pretty sure it's Part 5. Right, Hadrian tells me it's Part 5. And fortunately, Hadrian didn't have to tell me in a comment today. Hadrian's literally here with me. You can't see him right now. It's probably the reason my head is cut off is because I forgot to check the camera after we bumped into it about 6 times getting ready. But I've got both Hadrian and I've got Hannah Lamphere from previous episodes, Total Legends, and they've both brought their wifeys, which makes it so much more fun for me because I get to demonstrate that I can make more than one drink for myself, and I get them a taste of the drinks, and it's going to be super fun. I haven't planned anything just yet. We've also got on the line the legend that is Danny Dyer. So if this works, I have attempted to loop everybody in. So when I press this button, it should work. This is the everybody angle. Nope. I need to push 2 buttons. There we go. All right. That looks pretty good. Wait, I need to be here, don't I? Here we go. Look, we can do this. We've got the technology. Right. So, Danny, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, really good. Now, do you remember what was the whiskey we were doing last week? I've got them all here.
It was the 5-year-old patent number 4, which was the first patent still we put in Girvan in 1992. So that was one I forgot. I forgot to take that with me, so you wouldn't have. I didn't have
That's
that one at the time.
right.
But
I was kind of left solo on that one, wasn't I?
Yeah, sorry, buddy.
Right, so we've got that here. Now, how many people want to taste it again? Because you guys are going to have to make drinks. Whoop, whoop. Now, I'm going to be your bar back today, so I will bar back for you. I can't promise that I'm going to be like musty level bar back. Okay, I might be able to get you some lemons and ice. I can't guarantee sugar. We've got no sugar syrup in the cabinet at the moment. Right, this one.
Alternative.
So 3? Yeah. 3, and you can have a tiny little sip again. Now what percentage? Do you remember percentages? 42%. 42%.
No, you're asking. That was one of the lower percentage ones, I think.
Yeah, that's one of the normal ones. Right. Now, do you remember the drink what did I make with it last week? It feels like...
I'm not going to lie, I've been sitting out in the sun all day. It feels like last week was like last month to me right now.
It feels like such a long time.
I can't even remember what you made.
Is there even anyone on? Yeah, okay, this is what it feels like when I'm by myself, right? It doesn't feel like... Imagine he wasn't here.
Yeah,
and I was like by myself. I'm just talking to an empty room.
Yeah.
Can we establish it's
super
not as
weird?
easy?
No,
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Thank you. Now, I'm not on my own there anymore. Just talking to just a void and everything. Right. So have a taste of this. You guys have a little thinky. Oh, it smells like amazing.
That's the 5-year-old we done last week, right?
So, unlike the other weeks, I thought it'd be super cool to put these guys on the spot, right? And not only will they have to make a cocktail with this, but they'll have to make a cocktail with a mystery ingredient that's going to be announced by Mitch, right? So, Mitch is going to announce the mystery ingredient. He didn't even know that he's part of this, but everyone's kind of part of like a big interconnected web now, right? And like the way I see it, it's one interconnected web that connects people from all over the world, even from all the way across in California to here, because of just
and that's
brain
really
power
cool.
and such things. Okay, now when I push this button, so Danny, I know I didn't brief you that I was about to do this, but we're going to play Mitch's Minute, and Mitch is going to talk about a slept-on ingredient, right? And then I'm going to pull that ingredient out of my magic bag that I cycled down the road on, and the guys are going to have to make a drink with it, right? Ready?
Yo, sorry, I know I said I'd do this last night, but the dog
successfully walked to the shops and back without a lead, and so we got really excited, and we had a few drinks, and and we smoked a little bit of pot, and before I knew it, we were watching, well, it was mainly me, we were watching news. What's the question again? Most slept on, celery is the most slept on ingredient, because it goes with everything from like agricole through to like gin and mezcal and tequila, and it doesn't interfere with your brix or pH levels too much. It can be used to make syrups, it can be used as a juice, it can be used to make sodas and cordials. You can make oleosaccharides out of it. It makes lovely garnishes. Yeah, I can't say enough good things about celery. I like celery so much that my next tattoo is going to be a celery doing a rear naked choke on a cucumber.
Right, so celery. We're gonna force them to make a drink that uses not only a whiskey they've just tasted, but integrate celery into it. Do you think it'll work?
Yeah, good luck. I'd love to do that.
All right, so your ingredients for today. I might just move you, Danny, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
If I can. No, it doesn't seem to want to let me. Let go. There you go. Up there. Bang. Right, so ingredients, guys. Now, obviously, you can use the sugar syrups and any of the spirits down here, or anything else that's already here. Absinthe, for example, other whiskeys, cucumber, lemon, pineapple.
Obviously.
There had to be pineapple. More lemons. Look at the lemons. We're a bit of a run on lemons. Mint, celery. Now, I've wanted celery with loads of leaves because I think the leaves are the best bit. No, I shake them in.
Yeah.
And it gets nice and spicy and stuff, and you get loads of flavor. But there's leaves in the middle. Okay, so we got some celery. We got an orange or two. There might be a couple of oranges. I know there's a ruby grapefruit in here. Ruby grapefruit, some more lemon. This is getting long in the tooth, I think. In the interest of it not being a 4-hour episode. Yeah, more pineapple, more passion fruit. Right? What are you thinking? What would you make, Danny?
Mate, I just said I'm glad I'm not there. There is a bunch of fruit, and you're playing with that 5-year-old whiskey, right? That patent number 4. So it's such a light, easy drinking whiskey anyway. Jeez.
What?
Yeah. Good luck, guys. I think is pretty much what I can say here. I believe in you way more than I believe in myself with this challenge. But I'm excited to see what comes out of it.
So should I go first? I'm trying to make something.
I know what I'm going to make.
You know what you're going to make? Do you want to go first?
No.
No? Well, so I might. Do you want to have a Negroni?
No.
Sounds good.
In my head, my plan was to make you guys Indian spice Negroni from the
Oh yeah,
earlier
okay,
episode.
that does
Is that
sound
alright?
really nice.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So because I'm really poorly organised, I'm just gonna. Wow. Throw the ice cubes in here rather than let them temper. And I'll figure them out in just a minute. And then I'll stir down my drink. Right. So I'm thinking basically all I can think of right now is a whiskey sour with celery and cucumber.
Oh, that's nice.
But like served up, maybe a whiskey fizz, like something along those lines. Because I know that the celery gives it like a green freshness. So I like celery in a south side. Like a south side fizz. So that's one of my favorites. And I know my brain went to Morning Glory Fizz, but with celery, because you've got fennelly, celery sort of flavors go really well with like absinthe flavors. But I did a morning glory fizz last week, didn't I?
Is that what you did last week? 'Cause I remember we were talking about Morning Glory Fizz. I was keen to try one out for the 60-second cocktails that I do. Is that what you done last week?
I don't. Maybe I did it,
I
but
don't know
like
if you did.
my brain's not that creative. I think like if I'd been given this, I would have done the same. I would have done a morning glory. Maybe I mentioned morning glory fizz, but didn't actually make one. Do you think that could be it?
Probably. You're talking to a Scotsman that's been out in the sun for about 8 hours taking meetings and stuff. I'm surprised I'm not redder than I am right now.
Are you wearing like SPF 75 or something?
I actually have the SPF next to me, and I have an alarm for every hour. So I wear like 30, but I put it on every hour.
Do you really do that?
Yeah, because otherwise I'll burn, mate. And one of the worst feelings in the world is sunburn. I absolutely hate it.
I
And
love it.
I'm made of freckles anyway, so I just become a massive freckle if I stay out in the sun too long. So I genuinely put alarms on to put sun cream on.
Do you guys like getting sunburnt a little bit? Like the little stinginess?
I
and
don't
the
mind
feeling
being
that
a
like
little bit
your
roasted,
skin's
yeah.
going all
Just
leathery.
tired.
So you go like that, you get like, and it
That's
hurts.
quite unusual.
And you go like this, and then you get your shoulder blades to touch in the middle, and it's like itchy sting. No?
Yeah, I do.
I actually quite like it. Maybe I'm a freak. That's probably not
The sounding silence maybe suggests that you're a freak there. Yeah.
But I when I lived in Australia in the summer, I was a brickies labourer, and I would go to work like with barely even a t-shirt on and work in the sun all day, and I just got darker and darker and darker and darker and darker until people started being like, "What? But where are you from?" I'm like, "Ireland." They didn't believe me at all. Right, what have I done with the small twisty bob? I'll just use you.
So what are you going for, Dean? What are we doing here?
So what
are
I'm
you making?
doing is I'm giving the guys some time to think, which, you know, like, have you ever tried to do something where you're installing something on your computer and like it takes ages and your computer needs to think, but then you buy a new computer and you do the same kind of task and it just goes really fast? Well, my brain would have been the original computer, but it seemed 10 seconds in, Hannah was like, I know what I'm making.
Yeah, that was very quick, very confident as well. I'm
That's because I'm
intrigued,
making
Hannah.
something super easy.
Well, I just thought to myself, I will make something to distract the thousands of people watching. I mean,
Mitch!
yeah, hey
Hi,
Mitch!
Love you, Mitch.
Celery leaf mojito with whiskey back. See? I don't, what's it, how do you make celery leaf mojitos, Mitch? I'm going to put you back down. How's that there look?
You need to stop doing that, man. It's making me dizzy now.
You're getting dizzy. Too much movement. Alright. How much do you like the Negroni style?
Not too.
7%? 9.
No, less. Yeah,
Oh,
7, more like
that's
7.
right. We're already at 12.
What are you asking then?
I don't know. I wanted to kind of gauge the room a little bit.
What have you made first, Dean?
This is an Indian spice Negroni.
What gin have you used? Wait, you done it with grain?
Bombay.
Oh.
Yeah. That's because I figured if I had to remember which gin I used when it tasted really good, using Bombay, like it's like India, Bombay, you know, it's easier to remember. That's how my brain
Fair
works.
enough.
Did you know that the Bombay Sapphire wasn't even from Bombay? It was from Sri Lanka, and that's how.
Oh.
That's a little bit of fact for you.
You told Bacardi that?
That's how
Did they know that?
shit English people are. You
Oh.
didn't even bother to learn the difference
Oh
between
no,
Bombay and
that's
Sri Lanka.
oh, Plantation Rum changed their names. Bombay Gin. What are they going to call it?
Things are going down.
Sri Lankan special strength. Shit. Oh, that's so bad. I can't believe I didn't know that. That's such a good. That's golden. Right, so you guys are sharing,
Yes.
right?
Driver.
And then we got
No driver.
that and that one. All right, now. Cheers.
Hi, Lamphers.
Snatches.
That is lovely.
Doesn't look great, right?
It does.
Garnish, twist the scar, right? Now,
It's-
where was I? So what are we gonna make? I'm not gonna make something, am I? Because Hannah, you're already ready.
Can I have your cocktail stamp, please? Because
Cocktail
the
stamp.
ice stamp. I was expecting to get a stamp. Thanks very much. Cheers.
All right. So Hannah, do you want to just go?
Okay, I'll do
Yeah.
it. But I have to.
You can
go-
do it.
Yeah, I'll just do it.
Yeah. If you need some courage, I can give you a dram of whiskey.
That's
Huh?
how I got in this state.
This is how this all started.
This is
what happened.
Yeah.
Has it already been a long day for you? Yeah.
I think I can speak for me when I say that I spent the whole day like this, trying to make sure that no two parts of my body were touching one another, just sweating.
Wow. Yeah.
Just
So is that
sweating.
hot? Okay. Fair
Yeah,
enough.
it's really hot. It's been 33.
That's ridiculous.
33 degrees with a hangover is apocalyptic. That's what I've discovered. It's apocalyptic.
All right,
At least you'll sweat the hangover out though, so it's not too bad.
Have you got any salt, please?
Salt.
No. Oh, you don't have any salt. Oh,
I don't know.
no, I'm not sure.
There's
Is
normally
this
salt.
What's that?
Celery salt. No, that's vanilla sugar. It's all the vanilla sugar in the world. You
Oh.
stay there. I'll get you salt. I'll be right
Okay.
back. All right. And say entertaining stuff to Danny Dyer. Danny Dyer can quiz you on things and such things.
Oh my God, Dean Callan, are you leaving the Dean Callan show? This might be a first for you. Are you exiting the cabin to go get some
He's
salt?
entrusting his live show to us.
Oh no! So this is when I can tell
We
you
can
all
say
the dirty
anything.
stories about Dean.
Yeah, start them
Yeah.
now, immediately. I want to hear. Right, I'm just gonna clean the celery. That's what I'll do.
So what are you thinking, Hannah? You seem to get a very, very quick
Well, because
drink. I have never, those ingredients to me were pretty obscure, pretty weird. I mean, I love celery, but it's a Bloody Mary ingredient for me, if I'm totally honest. So you very quickly jumped to a drink.
Yeah,
so
because-
what were you thinking about
yeah,
it?
because I'm really hungover, I don't want to shake a cocktail, because that would be awful. So I'm thinking, it's so hot, all I want to drink is a highball, right?
Fair enough. Yeah.
So I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
see how far I get by doing a quick little muddle of some celery. I'll put the whiskey with it, stir it down, pinch of salt, pour it soda top.
Ooh,
Does
that
that sound
sounds
nice?
cool. That sounds very
Sounds
cool.
delicious.
That sounds
Yeah,
pretty
sounds
good, actually.
If it doesn't
Yeah.
have any sugar, I'm not sure if the celery's going to pop or not, but I'm going to give it a try because I've had salted celery juice before and it's really nice. It's really nice.
I didn't even know salted celery juice was a thing, but then I'm Scottish. I'm still learning some fruits that everyone has learned years ago.
You're like, what's this exotic celery you speak of? Do you have a muddler, please? You've got 4 of these.
Yeah, there's way more.
How many drones have you
So
got?
those
please?
ones, only one drone. That big thing.
Oh,
Those are actually a gift from Wayno-san. So they're the. I lost my other set, along with my very fancy ice knives, or one knife.
Adrian, are you as confident about your drink? Did you figure out your drink just as quickly as Hannah did? Are you just sitting there very quietly because
I'm
you're
sitting
absolutely
there being
picking it right now?
intimidated and contemplating options. Because that was really quick.
You have to remember, it's not a competition.
I know,
Okay.
I know.
It's more like just.
It's just that I'm thinking like I
Sorry.
wanted to use the celery, but
Very
if she
noisy.
use it, I might try to use something else so we don't make
You
leave it
have-
at that too.
you have
Similar,
to use
yeah.
celery.
We do we?
It's the must.
Is it the rule of the show? We have to use that celery?
Yes.
It's
Yeah,
not by me.
this
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta use the celery.
There's
okay,
only one lot of
cool.
celery. It's not a competition. It's more like.
I know.
It's more like one thing that you do for 5 minutes that will dictate the rest of your career.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah,
not a competition.
it's
We're
not-
not judging. We're not judging,
like-
but we're recording it. You know.
It's like your next what's
Is
that?
that the one?
You know, I had a career before the Jim Callan show, and then
And then he ruined it!
and then I went there. You promised me it would be fun.
It is fun. It's not like sometimes things are fun that you know.
Yeah, I know. You know, like Nelson and the Simpsons. You know, like.
Lee's watching from Belize, everybody.
Yay!
Say hi from Belize. Right. Okay. Watch my starring eye. Should I use this?
Yep.
Yeah.
Especially for you.
Thank you.
I didn't know what else to do. All right.
Danny,
So-
can you tell us more stuff about the whiskey? What was the distillation strength? What has it been matured in?
Yeah,
What was the barrel
so this is
entry?
quite interesting with our whiskey. This was installed in 1992. So original Garvin distillery was in 1963, which is one of my favourite stories about William Grant's. It was we were actually making Grant's whiskey, and we were getting whiskey from a competitor. I don't know if we're allowed to say them on here. They were called DCL at the time. Very, very, very big drinks company that starts with a D, put it that way. And they were giving us grain. And what happened was when Charlie, who took over control of William Grant's, he asked for a bit more grain, and DCL said no. And he went, well, fine, I don't need your grain. So he actually built Garvin Distillery in 9 months. He was told it would take him at least 2 years to build the distillery, but he'd done it in 9 months because we only had 9 months worth of grain left. So at the end of the 9 months, in 1963, we built this Garvin Distillery, and it was in 1992 that we installed what we call 4-apps, which is this patent distillery. It's a unique type of distillery. No one else can copy the distillation process. I'm not going to get too geeky about it because even I sometimes get confused when I start talking about it. But basically, it's a very different way of distillation with your grain, and it means that we keep all the flavours inside. I always talk about it in the way of making a stew. If you were to put a pot of ingredients on a really high burn, you're going to burn some of those ingredients and some of the flavours will dissipate. But our stew is a nice little simmer, and that's how our grain works. We keep all the flavours inside, and you're tasting some of the whiskey from that original 4-apps in 1992. So we've actually watered it down to 42%, but that comes out at quite high percent. You're talking about 70+% all the way down. And when you're tasting that, it's really kind of, I get like the creams, the vanillas, some pear drop flavours coming through. It's a whole kind of like candied sweet. My dad used to give me. That is the image I get. It's when I drink this whiskey.
The whiskey
So
tastes like a candy sweet your dad used to give you.
It's pear drops. My dad used to love pear drops and Parma violets, and that reminds me of pear drops when I smell and taste this whiskey, especially from 4-apps. So it's a really, really young whiskey. And when I was talking to our master blender Brian, I said I wanted from like really young to quite old because we've still got 2 more whiskies that we go through, the 12 and 25. But this is an example of what people might see as a bad whiskey because it's young. But it's a great tasting whiskey at a really young age, which is palatable on its own. But if you were to mix it with things like celery and stuff, it will still hold its own flavour coming through, which I think is quite unusual and unique for grain. We use 95% wheat for our grain, so it's not like a corn or maize. We use wheat, and then the other 5% is barley, because you need that for the reaction to happen. So man, I love it. It's very cool going to Garvin, and I'm sorry I couldn't get you there, Hannah. It's just obviously with COVID and stuff. It's all a bit closed down right now. I'm struggling to get a pass to go into Garvin right now, but next year, if you're up there, and same to you, Hadrian, as well. If you want to come up and see Garvin, we can. I'll show you around 4-apps, the original still in '92, and then I'll show you around 6-apps, which is that big steel monster that we have
that would
now.
be amazing. Definitely.
It's actually quite a cool place to go and visit.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, definitely.
I would like
It's
that.
Yes, man,
very,
that's
very
really
good.
great.
Love that.
And you have to ask to see the fart machine.
The fart machine.
It's very special.
Do you happen to have
There it
a
is.
soda? Thanks very much.
So they have an anaerobic digestion reactor.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a
alright.
fart machine.
Yeah.
It basically makes farts that they
Yeah.
catch.
Yeah, and then they use the
make it electricity out of it.
Yeah.
It's my favorite
Oh.
bit.
It's like, is it a myth? I heard like that Coca-Cola would use what was it? A distillery
Captures the CO2.
close to a Coca-Cola like plant would send the CO2 generated by the
Yeah,
fermentation.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah,
I heard that, but
But they
I
capture
never
it.
had someone being like, yeah, that's definitely true. You know what I mean? Like,
they capture it, but you got to remember, like the people that work at distilleries, they're not like you know, they don't get dressed looking to
know.
be like impressive on Instagram in the morning.
No,
like
they're
they're
there
engineers.
to do a job, yeah.
They're there to do a job, and like they want to make sure that they're as
Everything,
efficient
yeah.
as possible
Yeah, that-
without
that-
sacrificing flavour.
Little twist.
Makes sense.
No.
There's little baby leaves.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, look, see
Well,
those little two
No,
jollies?
I think if you've got a hangover, you don't want anything bobbing around. So.
Okay.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Alright.
Do you want to try?
Yeah, you can go first
Yeah.
if you like.
I like it.
This is the most exciting thing. Oh. Yeah, this
For a
is
first take?
hangover material as well. This is really good. Danny, you're missing out, mate.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm in Sweden. I'm really missing out. You know what I mean? I've been out wild swimming and everything. So I mean, I've loved to taste the drink, but I don't have a hangover. And I'm in Sweden, so you know, swings and roundabouts.
I'll keep.
Alright.
You can
I'll
keep
give this one
your
back to you.
sweaty one. Anyone?
I would
Alright.
love to try that.
Okay, I'm bringing it round.
So, Hadrian,
Yep.
how you feeling, man? I also got some mangoes. These weren't part of the mystery
little
box.
taste it, you guys.
They just, I could smell them walking up to them. And
and
like,
right, and then,
look, they're exactly the right kind of. Oh, these are going to taste so nice.
oh yes,
I'll have to wait on these.
Does it work?
this is tasty.
Right, so what are you thinking? What are you thinking? What flavours?
What am I thinking? I'm thinking celery and peach. Because I know that celery and peach are very good friends. They don't often hang out together. You don't see them often together, but when they get
Celery
together,
and peach go together.
it's kind of a party. You know? Whoops. Swinging it. If you got any peach like Giffard or crème de pêche, amazing.
Yeah.
Bang on.
So, all the peach stuff gets eaten really fast.
Yeah, of course it does. Shaken or stirred? That's the question. It's gonna be shaken because you've got
A lot of shakers.
no the shaken.
So this
and
one-
it's celery, so I'm gonna have to
That's
muddle
nice.
it anyway.
Oh, thanks.
So
I'm
gonna-
channeling my inner Julian.
where can I find your
the
knife?
The
cucumber?
cucumber water.
Where did the knife went to?
There's one behind.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Just gonna
Yeah, you like that, right?
Yeah,
put a few nice
You're gonna need some
pieces of
classes one.
I have one.
We've got one. Alright.
celery in there.
That's cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Celery. Here we go. What else?
So what are we doing so far? You've muddled some celery.
Not muddled yet, but just a few slices of celery. We've got the whiskey, we've got the peach. And the whiskey, we've got the peach.
Right. So we've got whiskey. We've got. Is the whiskey in there?
No, not yet. Thinking. Because do I get like not experimental, but
Have fun,
do
man.
I go bananas? Okay, can you pass me one of those pineapples?
Ooh, he's going bananas.
I'm
Wait.
going pineapple.
All right. Chop and ball.
Oh, yeah, thank you so much. Just gonna.
I think Musty would hire me still. I can carry lots of
I
crates.
think you would be the world's best barback.
That-
Because you do everything with dedication.
yeah, I love barback.
And you've got good banter, you know, to make the bartender smile when they're like busy as, you know, when they're
No.
busy as
I tried
crazy.
to,
and
I
then,
tried
you
to
know.
bar back at Portobello Road Distillery, and it was a disaster.
I remember
What
every
you
time
mean?
Jake you
Was-
wanted to
Couldn't
start
I just
find,
wanted
couldn't
to
find
buy
the
back.
ice machine.
No, I knew where everything was, but like I was like, what can I do now?
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
You can't. It was like there was a lot of young bartenders, and it was very busy, and you can't be a good barback if the bartenders aren't like, you know, keeping up. Or
All right.
Jake eventually was like, dude, jump on the bar, please, and I was like, all right. And then I started bartending, and the barbacks were like, you can bartend?
I don't know
I was
this.
like, yeah. I just chose the barback.
Just want to have fun tonight.
Oh, there was a couple of the guys that that thought I was a bartender or manager or something, and were really respectful to me. But when I started as a barback, they started dissing, like talking down to me and telling me how to do stuff. It was loads of fun.
Crown the peach.
Right, so where are we?
Adrian, what are we
So
doing
we
here?
are with celery
I've
and
seen
muddled
pineapple and
pineapple.
celery. What else has went in here?
Gonna have some peach. Because
Right.
as I said earlier, peach and celery are very good friends. Peach and pineapple are very good friends. that might work.
So there's some metal straws here, right?
Yeah.
And I just rewashed them. So if you want to start adding stuff, feel free to
Try in
go
the
for it,
obviously. How big is this? Is that a 30-60?
That's big, and that's half that size.
Okay, cool. I'll go with that. No,
Right, it's 60. It's a
30-60. Yeah.
The line there is 45, and then here you've got a quarter ounce, half ounce, 3/4 ounce.
Cool. Because we're in UK, we work in ounces.
Mate.
Joking.
Okay.
I'm joking.
60, 45, 7.5, 15, 22, 30.
Sorry, never
Scraps.
worked in any country that wasn't using a metric system. You know what I mean?
But they're still using the metric system. They're just
Not
using
the starting. Like the chef, especially the kitchen,
man.
they're like metric system makes sense, guys. Stop
If you
using
take
the
a
ounces."
Ferrari badge off a Ferrari and you put a different name on it, it's still a Ferrari.
Yeah, but when
have you
ounce
ever,
nautical,
cooked
you know.
with American recipes and it's all cups? It drives me.
Oh,
Yeah,
cups suck.
or sticks of butter, you know, like
Cup?
we don't measure in sticks
What's a
here.
cup?
What are you doing?
I've always wanted to have a butter stick. I'm not gonna lie. Okay,
It
no, wait.
seems achievable.
Okay, hear me out. One of my first inventions ever, in my brain, not in real life. Butter stick.
What did you
Looks
add
like
the
this,
salt?
right?
Pinch
You know
of-
the way you get the round
Pinch
French
of
butter,
salt, Danny.
right?
So
But
far we've got
it's
pineapple,
it's
celery,
butter
peach liquor, pinch of salt.
in a
to
stainless steel deodorant
try to get
stick.
this together.
And you
Gonna
take
measure
it,
it.
open the top,
Yeah,
right?
a bit more.
And then you do this, and the butter protrudes
that's a
out.
big
And when you want to
nut.
put it on toast,
There we go.
He's doing a proper job.
I think that's a £1 million idea.
and get this,
I
you
think
want
that's a great
to
idea.
measure, right? You got your butter stick, open up, you turn this, butter
And you
comes
turn
out,
it up, yeah.
and on the side there's a little stick that says 5, 10, 15 grams. You slide the stick up to 30 grams, you bring this up to the top, cut it with your knife,
Let's.
measurement.
That
Dean,
sounds
what
good.
you're
But
explaining
this
is old school antiperspirant.
That's
that
what
used
I'm
to
saying!
have the little swirly bit at the
Yeah.
bottom, but
But
just
with
with
butter.
butter.
With butter, so when you want
Yeah.
to butter the toast, you got the cold butter, and then
Yeah.
you do this on the toast, and it melts at the right pace. And then, if you need a little bit extra butter, you scrape off the little bits of toasty jobs. I'm getting you distracted, aren't I? Sorry.
Just a touch.
We're-
So
We've got
we've got salt in here, we've got whiskey, we've
I'm
got
thinking about the volume I'm
pineapple
gonna
and
get in
celery
the end,
as
so,
well, and some peach liqueur.
Would probably be about this, yeah. Yeah, about
Yeah,
this.
probably.
Just
as-
this absent.
That is absent.
That is absent.
It's this one, but just in a smaller bottle.
Ooh, fake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
absent
cool.
rinse.
Can I get the whiskey, please?
I put it back, I think, on the end.
Yes.
Probably.
Well, she's an organized bartender, you know.
I'll try.
Muscle
is it-
memory,
it's
whether-
Gervin number 4, right?
It was Curvin number 4 patent
Number
still,
4.
yeah, 5
Oh,
years.
Cool. Amazing.
I've still got an unopened bottle of Gervin number 4.
Oh.
Oh, when we released it, I think we've done 2 releases. Curvin number 4 patent still, the big tall
it's
sort of
number
ball.
1 apps. I've got the 25-year-old launch edition 1 of 500, and I've got the 30-year-old 2014 edition number 669 of 1300. Because I have put numbers on them, I was like, I'll do those until like no one else has those numbers, and then I'll open it and look really fancy. But actually, I only paid 100 quid.
Turn from maraschino to
I've got an
Um,
invention.
Cherry
really.
liqueur as well there.
Ice is in there, yeah. So top one is sporadic, different sizes.
Okay.
This one is cubes.
Just cubes to
Yeah.
for a good
It's
shake.
sausage.
Yeah. Just one because
On the nuts. Here, do you want me to
Yeah.
stab it? You ready? Oh, teamwork.
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 Teamwork makes dream work.
Maybe less.
All
I
right.
wish we had more camera angles so people could see the amazing teamwork.
I try not to hit anything.
Yeah. It actually looks surprisingly dark in that corner.
Yeah. That one looks fine, but this one looks really dark.
Weird, huh? It's like it gets darker on each level of the TV. Whatever. I always forget there's people watching.
You want to check the comments, maybe?
Diogo says mango, chili, and whiskey go very well. Daniel Kyson says it looks so busy. This is amazing. So,
Hi, Daniel.
hi Daniel. Leah's on. Oh, I see. And she said this looks dope. I should screenshot that. Make it the cover for the next video. Oh wait, add to broadcast. Look at that. You see that? Oh yeah.
That is clever.
Like Mitch said this. So then people on YouTube, I don't even have to say, look at this, I can just be like,
Alrighty, and garnish. Do we need a
I feel
garnish? No, we
restored.
don't. Cheers, guys. Yeah,
alright, is it alright if I
so we'll do the honors.
It looks good, man.
So we've got celery, pineapple, peach, salt, whiskey, absinthe rinse, and a little dash of maraschino. Teeny tiny dash of it. And I think it's not that bad.
Whoa. Celery and pineapple go really well together. I could probably go a little bit more whiskey.
Yeah.
But it's tasty.
I didn't want it to go like overboard, you know?
It's super tasty, man. It's amazing how celery and pineapple go
You
together.
guys want to
That's
give it a little
interesting.
try?
Wow. That's so random. Right, so
It's good.
now,
It's really good.
Danny,
Yo,
mate, since you're in charge of all of the insane in the grain,
That's so
right?
nice.
yeah, yeah.
What is coming next?
Oh yeah.
Well, like, it's
Where-
not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after. If you're okay with doing Wednesdays, because, like, basically, I actually have to work now. I'm not sure if I'm actually getting paid for it, but I have to work
I need to write that down.
because, you know, bills and such things. Where am I? I'm getting confused by
There
the
you go.
cameras.
Yeah,
Right.
you're almost pointing to it. Yeah, there you go.
That one.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I need a little light that says. Right. So, which whiskey's going to be next?
We're going to do the 12-year-old next. We've got two left. We've got the 12 and the 25. We're going to do the 12-year-olds.
12-year-old looks a lot darker than we've seen coming through.
Yeah, so it's a big jump, right? We've not really played with anything that old, and this is now you're getting the whiskey from the 6 apps now. So 12 and 25 is a big jump in depth of flavour. It still has that Girvan grain feel to it. It's still quite light. I mean, I hope I've not tasted it yet. I've tasted it a while ago, but that's what we're going to be playing with next, which is this little stuff here.
Alright, so guys, I'm going to pour this.
So that's 12 years old, right?
It is 12 years old.
Yeah.
And it's you said it was app 6, so still number 6, right?
So yeah,
Absolute
basically,
still.
yeah. So it's 6. It's the one you might see in pictures with that like big, massive. Like, it looks like a big steel monster. I think it's beautiful. I mean, I like single malt distilleries and copper stills. Don't get me wrong, but I love coming into Girvan and you see this big, massive, towering structure. And to me, a big, massive, towering structure means that you're not going to get something as pretty and nice and tasty as like a copper pot still. And I couldn't disagree more. Like when you get to taste this, what we've been drinking throughout Insane the Grain, it's just such a lovely, light, easy drinking spirit, which is why we're doing what we're doing. Trying to change the concept of grain whiskey, and especially coming from Girvan, all the guys that work there are fantastic, and this is the one that I sometimes take people up to the top of, and you can see the whole site. It's where we've got Monkey Shoulder and Ilsa Bay and the Hendricks Palace and everything there as well. So
Okay, so we're going to have a little taste of this. You've got this time.
yeah, I actually did get this one, yeah, because I did pack them all in my suitcase. I just forgot the last time. So
I'm smelling
Cheers.
celery.
Celery in the brain.
You get a
That's
strong
really
cereal
good.
note.
this one's much more sort of like honey sweetness coming through than the previous ones. Like it's that pear drop
so
note,
this
I
is
think is kind of
62%.
left with this.
Sorry. So that's what the water's for.
Yeah.
62% ABV. It's,
Do you know what though? The strength of it,
It's- you don't need it.
explodes. It's really, the texture's really nice.
Yeah, and it's the weird thing, right? Usually, if you're going to be drinking like a single malt, I used to work at the single malt Scotch Malt Whisky Society. Your palate gets used to these cask strength single malts. This is sitting at cask strength at 60%, but it's so palatable as is. It's so light and easy and sweet and cereals. I just love this stuff. I really like this. I've had a few
Danny,
samples of this.
this
before.
is delicious. This is
Yeah, it's really
great,
nice.
great dram. Yeah.
wow.
That's
And to me, that's a drinking dram. I know the other stuff we've had is quite out there and experimental and good fun. Still drinking drams, but I could happily sit and give this. And I have given it to a few of my malt crazy friends, and they're like, "What malt is this?" And I'm like, "What do you think if I said that was a grain that was under 15 years?" And they're like, "No way." And I'm like, "That's our Girvan grain." So it just goes to show you that different process and using like the wheat and this really unusual way that we make our grain. It keeps all those flavours in. Like before, if you're using that continuous still, some of them would dissipate.
Can I just clarify really quickly? We've talked about the number 4 apps, and you mentioned number 6 apps.
Yeah.
If I were to see a distillery and on paper there were 8 different stills, right?
Yeah.
I would assume that this, because we also make more or less neutral grain up there as well, right? Passes through still number 1, then to still number 2, still number 3, but that's not the case. We're actually fermenting and then distilling in just one still, and then it goes off for barreling. Is that correct?
These are independent. So we've got the fermenting itself is crazy. We've got over 40 different fermenters, and it's outside fermenters. It's quite a different process to malt whiskey. It really is. But this is going through different, what we call apps, different distilleries essentially. You know what I mean? Even though it's Gurvin Distillery, it's different structures that it's going through. And the 6 apps itself is a capacity of over 100 million litres, and it's technically classed as a power plant because of Dean, what he beautifully says, which marketing probably would never call it, a fart machine. So Gurvin Grain is a distillery and a power plant which provides a lot of power to the neighbouring village, which is Gurvin as well. But this is from that big one. If you put in Gurvin on a Google search, the Gurvin Grain, that's that big steel thing. It's massive, and I love it. I love that something so big and industrial can create such a beautiful, easy drinking spirit. And that was the idea of this guy back in '63. He wanted to create the best grain. And that company I was telling you about earlier, the one with the D that sold us grain, they now buy our grain whiskey for their blends. So I quite like that little underdog story and how the tables have turned. But I'm sure no one knows what we're talking about. So it's just a slightly big company.
It's like if there was a football player and their surname was Maradona, their first name would be...
yeah.
So is it stainless steel? Is the inside of the still stainless steel from top to bottom?
Yeah, it's stainless steel,
Okay.
what they use. And so what probably in your head right now, Hannah, is like, but where is the cleaning of the spirit, right? Because that's usually a copper thing that you would need to clean this spirit. So we use something called sacrificial copper because you still need to clean that spirit as it's going through. So think of it as 2 big tubs, right? You've got a rectifier and an analyzer, you've got an under pressure and an over pressure. When you put a bit of steam through there, everything moves through and there's lots of little shelves in here. Now that's fine, but you still need to clean that liquid essentially, because copper is really good to clean a lot of things, hence why we use copper pot stills. We actually do have copper at the top of one of these tubs, and it's that's a unique design that we've created, another patented design, and it almost looks like if you were to cut a square of copper and put lots of holes in it, and that's just purely for surface. So that's the most surface that you'll get from doing this. So that goes up, this liquid goes through that, and it very quickly deteriorates this copper because it cleans it so much, which gives it that really nice light, what I think is a pear drops or a pear sort of fruity flavour coming through with it. Next time you're there, do you know who tells you so much more better than I do about this? It's the people that work there. They are so great at it, because you go up into this control room and the people there are they're mashing and they're distilling and they're fermenting, and it's just amazing. I'll take guests up and I'm like, right, so I've told them all this and all my different analogies, and they just go through it start to finish, and it's always better to hear from the people that are working day in, day out, you know. But it's such an amazing idea, and to think that William Grant is known for kind of taking big steps in the industry and kind of going for these things. And in 1992, these Finnish scientists came over and went, this was originally a vodka thing that we're doing. The still comes from a vodka distillation process. And they went, we're going to have that for a grain, let's give it a go. And they took a massive risk, and now we've got one of the most sought after grains in the industry. And the last 2 that I left, the 12 and 25, we're tasting the 12 now, it just blows my mind, because I'm like, that's a malt. It just tastes so good. It's at 63%. It's amazing the amount of flavour that you're getting in here, and it's the big reason when I talked to Dean to start doing this. I just wanted people to kind of debunk the myths and like all grain is bad rubbish, because there's so many great grain whiskies out there, and do you know what's even better? They're going to be cheaper than malt whiskies. and you can play with them so much, as yourself and Adrian has shown us, and everyone throughout the show that's been giving us these cocktails. So it's kind of, it was a little passion project of mine, and Dean sort of jumped on it and was like, yeah, I've got you, man. So it's why I wanted to talk so much about grain. Like, grain isn't my specialty, I'm just a big fan of it, and I think it's a big
Also,
industry, you know.
I think people like to get to taste stuff that isn't your finished product. You know, like, this isn't something that's being released. This is an example of something that Brian might use to blend into one of the bigger expressions. But you get, the process here, from the favorite thing I like about this process is that we get to, by tasting the components, get a better understanding of how the larger pictures can, like, put together.
I think it's interesting because, like, I work for a blended Scotch, right? So I work for Grant's, and to think that almost 70%, about 60% of Grant's, that's Girvan grain that's sitting there, and so many people forget that that's such a huge component, and that's sort of Brian or Kelsey, our other master blender, that's their building sort of block, and then they have to play with 25 other single malts, and people always focus on the single malts, which is fine, but I'm like, guys, if you're going to build a house, you have to build on a really solid foundation, and we just happen to have this really nice, great tasting grain that helps these other malts pop, and it gives Grant's that really nice sweet vanilla spice. That's how I explain to people what Grant's is. Oh, what's the 3 woods? And I'm like, forget about it, it's sweet vanilla spice. That's all you need to know. And that vanilla, that big hit of vanilla is coming from that Girvan grain.
So, can I ask a question about the cask selection then? Are you using, like, first fill ex-bourbon casks, or is it a mixture of...
Yes. So the 3 woods that we use with the Grant Stripper woods, because we changed the name about two and a half, almost 3 years ago now, when I joined as the ambassador. It's 3 different types of woods, right? So you've got American oak, which to me and you, that's second, third, or fourth fill bourbon. You've got your bourbon, which is first fill bourbon, and then the one that kind of sets us apart, that's a bit different, because lots of people use bourbon, let's not lie, they use first fill, second fill, third fill, they can call it American oak, or they can call it whatever they want, refill. That's pretty standard as an industry, but it's that third cask that we use that really kind of sets Grant's apart, which is virgin oak. So we use virgin oak to give that big hit of spice. So when you, I'm sure Dean's got some in the cabin, you can have a wee try, when you taste Grant's, it's, to me, the vanilla comes through a bit of water or ice. The sweetness really comes through with the fruit in Grant's, but the spice is that wee bit of finish. And it's really quite unusual for a blend to go through this process, but we've actually been doing it for over 10 years. Brian was telling me, but we used to be called Family Reserve, and I was like, what does Family Reserve mean? It can mean anything, you know what I mean? I could put anything on the label of Family Reserve, and
only
he was like,
the
this is why
family
we're telling
drank it
people
for the
about
first
triple
30
woods.
years.
Yeah,
And then they opened it up to
just,
the public.
Yeah, because it took 30 years to figure it out.
Yeah, or the Family Reserve. You're like, well, the reserve could be like, I don't know how old, doesn't really tell anyone what it means. So, as you know, like with woods, big arguments around how much it affects the flavour. They say in single malts, what, about 70, and at blends we say around 60%. But we're using these 3 woods to give 3 distinct flavours that makes up Grant. So that's how I usually talk about it, through flavours, not so much of the wood.
Alright.
So, this 12-year-old...
The 12-year-old
what was the
is
selection of that, then?
that's American oak, so it's what I would call second or third fill bourbon, but we have a slightly different way of doing it at Grant's. We don't do second or third fill, they use a different system where they look at the colour of the liquid and things. So as you know, you could have a second fill cask that's dead after 5-10 years, but you could have another second fill cask that lasts for another 20. So we use a slightly different system. It's not about how many fills, it's about the colour, the smell, and the taste of the liquid. It's a little bit more laborious, but Brian, David from Balvenie and Kelsey like really trust and believe in that system. So it's all about the colour of the liquid. So we would call that American oak. It's been second, potentially third fill cask.
Cool. So this has
I
been
geeked
very...
out, man. I geeked out a little bit there, didn't I? I don't get
well,
to geek
good,
out
man,
much.
that's good.
That was great.
That's good.
To know what's going on in that bottle, you know?
Just so you know, because I've been getting my fill because I stopped going on social media from watching YouTube videos about camera codecs. And people geek out about 422 and 420 and 10-bit and 8-bit and possibly 12-bit. And like I learned what bits are over the last week, and it feels really rewarding to just learn a bunch of stuff.
Learn something, yeah.
Yeah, and what's the difference between a £70,000 Arri Alexa camera and you know, I'm never going to buy that camera, but I know the stuff. So I think maybe there might be one person that's somewhat like me watching you geek out and is going,
Yep.
nice. Oh, this is relaxing.
If you want to geek out, you can always hit me up on Instagram and Facebook and stuff. Like I've got like I'm a wee geek when it comes to like whiskey. I love it. I'm very passionate about it. But I just, to me, like hitting flavors and stuff and playing with whiskey like you guys are doing is like another fun sort of like playground with it. But yeah, I can sit here for hours. I'm sure my girlfriend would kill me if I did. But and just geek out about like different woods and whiskies and stuff like that. But,
Well,
yeah.
I'll tell you what, Danny, I think we might let you go. Right? And we'll just get back to our randomness. Did you guys taste the 12?
Yeah.
You liked it?
Yeah, it was
Yeah, delicious. Was
so-
amazing.
So, would you be able to make a cocktail with it? Like, try to instill the people at home with confidence. Otherwise, you can come back in 2 weeks. We can get like leathered again. It's like no problem.
Sounds good too.
But so the flavors that you got from it, off the top of your head, because I got like a little hint of an earthy note, and then kind of kept thinking like chocolate and like chocolatey oranginess. So I thought I just wanted to stir it down and add a tiny bit of sweetness and a tiny bit of like honeyness. And originally I went for a honey liqueur, but I think the heat has gotten to it and it was fermented when I opened it. So this is like Slovakian honey liqueur that's absolutely delicious. But
All right.
it doesn't. Yeah, it's
Maybe
really
it doesn't
nice,
bathe well in the
but
heat.
not for today. So then, failing that, I went for the next nearest honey flavor. I thought I'd add ginger as well, but like I changed my mind. So the next nearest honey thing I had was Athol Bros. So do you know Athol Bros?
Yeah, I thought Ross.
Yeah, there you go. So like
What is
apparently,
that? I do not know.
so apparently, as the story goes, in 1475, when the Scottish first started making cocktails,
Cocktails in 1475.
yep, they made Athol Bros cocktails.
All right.
Yeah.
Which is-
and as the story goes, a Bros is where you take water or let's say milk because it's better for making drinks with, and you steep it in oats. And it becomes like thick and stodgy, and it takes on the flavor
Takes on
of
the
the
flavors,
oats,
yeah,
but it
yeah.
takes on some of the starches, so it's like there's more sustenance in it.
Okay.
Then you strain that off, and you use the oats separately to create whatever your porridge, and then now you have a Bros. So,
yeah.
as the story goes, there was the Lord of the Isles, who was a big badass dude, who like cruised around the Isles, killing people and messing with the English people. And then the English
Being
people,
Scottish and all.
no, someone on the English people's side, right, needed to fight this guy, but rather than fight them one-on-one, they thought, right, we'll go to where they hang out, and we'll put a massive amount of whiskey, like or
Just to
Escobar was-
Get
as
them
was known,
drunk, like, yeah.
into the well, right, and then they spiced it with a little bit of spices. They put some Bros in there, and they put a bunch of honey in there. So when the guys came back and they went to drink the water in the well, they were like, oh, someone spiked the well with a delicious Athol Bros cocktail. And then they got wasted. And then the guys waited for them to get well drunk. And then come in and were like, ah! Right? And they won. Because they got the other guys drunk. But because it was written down on paper very clearly and legibly and whatever, we now know that 1475 was the first time the Scottish started making mixed drinks. And Athol Bros. Yeah. So if you ever want to make a really wicked ice cream,
1475.
you make an Athol Bros cocktail, turn it into an ice cream,
And, yeah.
right? You've got it frozen. And then you scoop that out and you take Monkey Shoulder and Coke, or Grants and Coke, right?
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
And you make it float, yeah.
Grants and Coke, and you make a Coke
that's a
float.
whole
Nice
other thing I
float,
tell you
yeah.
about how good
All
Coke
right,
is.
Athol
But,
Bros Coke
That's
float.
really cool.
Oh,
I might
it's
try
really-
that. I just need to buy the freaking machine
Ice
to
cream
make.
machine. I'll lend you mine for a little while.
Ooh.
Yeah, boomerang ice cream machine now. Dude,
A
thank you
meringue
so
ice
much.
cream machine with ice
it's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Hope you have a good time,
well, there
guys.
you go.
It's
Thank
been
you so
lovely.
Well, there you go,
joining a
then.
very full cabin. I hope you enjoy the whiskey. And again, as always, if
Thank you.
anyone wants to try some of that 12-year-old whiskey, just get in touch with Damien. We can hopefully send some out. But I am now looking forward to Hadrian and Hannah cocktail with the 12-year-old in a week or 2 weeks.
Oh no, they don't. You don't have to. If you like,
I can do
They can
it.
have
In
they're-
2 weeks, I'm
they're on
up
the
for it.
spot.
Yeah,
we just put
definitely.
you on the spot. That's the hard.
No, I'm fine, mate. I love it.
All right. Cheers, man.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers,
Take
Andrew.
care.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Awesome. Okay.
I
So-
know what I'm going to make though, Dean. I've got it all.
Already.
Yeah.
You're too good. You're too good.
You're too fast for me. Like,
All right. Cool. So now we go.
I need a little bit of
Like,
processing
it's
time,
so
you know.
warm in here.
I just see some stuff and make a 2-bit drink.
Right.
You know, that ingredient, done.
Now,
Gordon Ramsay, done.
Georgie
Hi,
Bell was
neighbour.
online.
Hi, neighbour.
Hey, Romers.
All right. Cool. So that was the watering down your little
Yeah.
things. Got these two.
12-year-old
Look at
is
him.
really, really,
So
really
many
delicious.
Yeah. Did you like it?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Honestly, from all of them, the second one was the 3-year-old, right?
Yep. I think so.
So my two. Okay,
was a
so
5.
the next one was the 5. So my two
Third-
favorite are probably the 5 and here the 12. That's my two favorites.
I can't wait to taste the 25.
Oh,
He's saving it for last.
yeah, of course we did.
He knows something.
You know, you need to earn it. You know,
All right. So do you guys like prosecco?
partial to it, yeah.
Partially like prosecco.
What?
I wouldn't mind a glass of prosecco if it's offered to me.
So, I'm gonna give you. I imagine that I was really good at production and organised myself really well, right? And it was like Insane in the Grain, and there was a little Insane in the Grain.
We should record.
And you guys knew what was going on. And then cut back in, and we're doing Insane in the Grain. And then there's another segment, like how Mitch's Minute has an intro, right?
Yeah.
And the other segment was the NDA sessions, non-disclosure agreement, which is like my whole life, right? Like recently I got out of a contract where I had to like not work for anyone, and I wanted to create a t-shirt. I think I should probably get it made, where instead of NWA, which is like, you know NWA,
Yeah.
the way it's like a scratched on red
Yeah.
kind of crayon-y looking thing, but NDA. And then instead of straight out of content, it'd be straight out of contract, right? And then just be like, fire me! Like,
Man, that's brilliant.
right?
That's brilliant.
But I was talking to some people I'm developing a liquid with that I can't tell you anything about, and one of the serves is, well, one of the more obvious serves is with prosecco, and I was like, I've got people coming to the cabin. Can I give them like, just a taste of this and see what they
Without
think?
disclosing anything. yeah.
Without telling them anything, and they were like, yeah, okay.
Top secret. No one can know about
No
it.
one is allowed to know I'm even doing this. But
We're not live anymore, right?
basically, yeah.
Just, you know, he forgot to turn off the live and he was like, God damn it.
Oh, I've actually turned it on by accident one time. Because, like, so see that button where it says finish?
Yeah.
Right? It usually says go live, and I was cleaning it.
And
it
you,
went
yeah,
live.
you
Yeah.
slipped on it by
No,
accident.
I was just cleaning it. I didn't think that it was still connected. I thought that, like, you've seen how much work went into getting on it all set up before.
Yeah.
Right, so I thought you had to do all that, but actually you just press the live button, and away you go. Oh, it's so hard to know which one to go with. So there's like multiple different samples, but I'm going to go with the earliest version.
Cover the label.
You wouldn't get anything out of it, it's all coded anyway.
And there you go.
What you looking at?
Trying to
If you
get
see
a
someone-
tea.
Trying to
If you see something that you
Trying to
like,
be.
just let me know and we'll...
You have a nice selection of mezcal.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
do. Yeah, those mezcal are like.
the mezcal usually disappears really fast though.
You know, in Alice in
I
Wonderland,
tried it-
there is that drink me like little label on the thing. Yeah, there's on all of them.
I went to Oaxaca. You know, like I went and traveled around and stuff.
Nice.
And I made some mezcal with a whole bunch of different mezcal producers. It was pretty cool. And then the Kosh brothers, I met them at a party. And one of the guys that
Kosh brothers.
yeah,
That's
and
random.
they remember you as well. Like they're like I seen him 4 years later in Rome, out of context. And I was like, hey, and they were like, hey, brother, how are you? And I was like, I met you one time. Yeah, we brought you to the back of the car. We gave you some mezcal. We remember. I was like, oh, shit. I met him for 2 minutes. I was like, wow. All right, we'll go this way because you guys are sharing.
Thank you.
Right, so you have to just taste it and try to tell me what you think it might be. Like, no, actually, that's not even fair. Just like, is it okay? Is it nice? Like,
It's nice.
It's 3 or 4 to 1. The concept of this, I think, is to just, and here's the Martini Prosecco, I think, is much less acidic than you would get with most Proseccos. So, adding a bitter and a floral, sweet, bitter note to Prosecco makes it more of an aperitivo, kind of aperitivi moment. And that was the idea of this stuff. It's like aperitivi.
Can get the floral side
without
definitely.
a mess of sugar to balance out the bitterness, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, it's very low sugar compared to your Aperols and other things. So it's...
No, definitely.
Soft.
That's
It's really nice.
yeah, very tasty. A lot of floral notes. A lot of it.
Is
But
it
like pleasantly floral.
Okay. We'll do one more. I want to see what you think.
He's getting excited.
He's gonna have so much washing up to do.
You what?
You're gonna have so much washing up to do.
Got a glass
Well, wait,
washer,
is
don't
that
you?
why you invited all of us?
Baba King, yeah.
No, I...
You know, working a chain and...
I always do that. I call Mitch and then polish all the glasses and like chat to him.
Where is Mitch?
Oh,
That's
Mitch,
really
did you watch the show? And he goes, brother, I was busy doing something else. And then I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, well, that's all right. But he's usually busy actually doing real stuff. So there's one.
Oh, thanks.
I'm not measuring these now. I just wanted to see.
Thank you.
So this, some elements are brought right up, and others are dropped right
That's
down.
the floral
It's
one.
real good.
Yeah? Yeah, that's the first one here.
Yeah, exactly. It does. It has. That's what I said. That was my. That was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, and I love that you said sherbet so much.
Yeah.
Sherbet is exactly what I said.
I did a taste.
I was gonna say that.
When I got there first.
So compared to the other one, this one has a couple of effectively like very good quality essential oil type things that would represent a couple of different citruses. And I think if you take like orange and lime or lemon and lime and you combine them individually, like lime in a daiquiri is lime in a daiquiri, but when you have lime and lemon, for example, in a Ramos or a Morning Glory, they create a sherbety flavour when they bounce off each other with the combination of malic and citric acid.
It's daisy. It's good. I like mixing lemon and lime.
Yeah.
This isn't as simple as lemon and lime, but that was the goal, to add sherbetiness. So cool. So, what do you think?
I think it's really tasty.
It's really
Think it's
tasty.
tasty?
It's really crisp. Maybe from a personal taste point of view, maybe with a slightly drier prosecco. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, again, matter of taste. I know you like sweeter things, I like drier things.
I like
This was-
Davide and Roberta. So if I'm going to buy Prosecco, I just literally buy from the people I know.
Yeah, of course.
If someone else from a Prosecco,
I
if
would've-
Frexinet people were like, "Hey, dude, let's hang out," I'd end up buying their stuff. I'm really, when it comes to Prosecco, I'm really fickle like that. I haven't
Mitch
figured it out.
says, in his defence, he can't get drunk in the mornings more than once a week.
I do. Yeah, he has to work. Oh,
It's like you saw the
gotta
next
work
line. It's like I have to work.
Oh, just
have you ever had twuck?
No.
Okay, we'll do another episode on a different day.
Yeah?
But twuck is a jungle, imagine jungle sherry from Borneo.
Ooh.
Unknown Muslim country, so that no one knows anything about it. Hold on. No one knows anything about it, unregulated, and I went and judged a twuck competition. It was pretty badass. And it's like if you made sherry, but it tasted like baijiu. This is a fruit one. So in Borneo before
Sherry
the
that it tastes like.
Baijiu, before the Chinese arrived.
Mitch is drunk. Let's patch Mitch in.
Mitch, are you on?
He's here.
Are you on Skype? Let me know. Call me on Skype if you're on Skype.
Wanna try me?
So this doesn't taste as nice as it did in the original. I tried to save them without opening them. I've got 6 other twucks out the back in my storage. If you want to try them, that are more traditional. There's a 2-year-old. They go up to like 20-year-old.
Wow.
And they ferment it from rice and they make it in like big clay pots that look like piscolas. Like, you know, pisco, the way it's fermented in those big clay pots. They look exactly like that.
Ah.
And
So it's not distilled. It's a ferment.
it's fermented really high
Alright.
for a long time. You go.
Sorry.
And they traditionally the females are the ones that hold the keys in the village to making twuck. And when the men go off to hundreds of years ago, when the men went off to fight, the women would make twuck. And if they came back, they all celebrated together. When they were cannibals and headhunters in the jungles of Borneo. And apparently, when the Chinese came and brought rice, it started to signify the end of a rice harvest as opposed to the end of a hunt. And now they've started fermenting it from rice. This is made from crystal fruit, a jungle fruit from Borneo that doesn't happen anywhere else. And I know that it doesn't have the pop that it had when it was first made. But Twuck by Simon, he's the only one that's on Facebook that I know of, and lovely guy. So I want to kind of try to bring some Twuck to London
nice.
and get people to taste it because it
It's
is
really nice.
something really interesting. I thought like it might be cool to use Twuck in tiki drinks, tiki bars,
Yeah.
where you actually like it is actually from the area and it's a legit alcoholic product that comes from the jungle.
Yeah.
It's got that
You gotta
sherry
taste it when it's
quality
super fresh.
to it, but still
There's a sherry
more
quality.
fruitiness, like a bit of lychee and
But
sort
it's-
of.
It's about 17-18% ABV.
It's
so
closer to sake, though. It's got that like.
yeah, and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
no,
yeah.
I mean and you've got the rice as well, like.
Here's Mitchell.
Hi.
Hi.
oh, look at that smiley face.
How you doing? Lou, your face has been so funny. That's what I've been watching the whole time. Just watching your reaction to the qualities going,
But are you like, why am I here? What are they talking
it's
about?
so good. It's been hilarious.
Hi,
I
Mitch.
moved my face.
Oh,
How you
dude,
Your
doing,
face is
man?
great. Your face is looking so good.
Maybe you want to try the.
I've been
vodka.
trying to grow this Disney villain goatee
Alright.
It's
so I
great. I
can
like
scare
it.
people at dog parks. So I'm starting to look very mountainy.
Mitch is a
But
mountain. Mountain Mitch.
We're gonna. Karen wants to buy a cabin in the mountains to escape to in case Donnie gets a second term. So we might do that.
What
Are
is-
you building the cabin or buying the cabin?
Buying a cabin.
Are you putting a bar in the cabin?
Well, there'll only be a bar in the cabin. I'll just have like a giant bar bed that I'll just roll around it.
Ooh.
Me, the wife, and the dog.
Right, so
How
Mitch,
were your drinks?
Good.
Celery highball looked dope.
Thanks, Mitch.
They're both
How
They
is
look
Monty?
delicious.
How is Monty?
Monty's really good. It's so crazy though. His hair's falling out and he looks like a cow underneath. He has like cow spots all over him. So he's like slowly turning into a cow with a fox head. And it's really strange. But he's become really obedient all of a sudden. Like I walked him off the lead last night, which is why I got so smashed because I got super excited and I was like, Karen was out and I was like, we should have a party, Monty, because I was alone and you know we're quarantined, it's COVID. And then but he won't eat anything like unless he gets like you can't feed him the same food 3 days in a row. Like he'll just look at you and he'll be like, again, I'm having salmon sausage again. And so we have to like rotate his food. And I'm like, what the fuck sort of a dog is this? He's side-eyeing me now. He's giving me the shit eye. He's like, you're talking about me, I know. But yeah, he's great. It buys me a couple of years before we have to have kids, which I'm happy about.
oh wait,
'Cause,
before what?
Karen
This
says
is a
about 35. So
You've accepted
What?
that the kids are coming.
I never say no to the wife. It's just like, yeah. If I want happiness to continue, I just say yes. So yeah, but I mean, I negotiated a pretty good deal. I said if we had to like offset it, so I was like, if we have one, we have to adopt one to keep it even, you know. And because Karen's a twin and her parents are twins and her uncles are twins, we'll probably get two and then we'll adopt one, so we'll have like a little front row straight off the bat.
So Mitch, can I ask a favor?
Yeah.
If you have twins, can you make a pram that sits both twins in, but make it so that one twin sits in front and the next one sits behind, and the pram looks like a fighter jet, and the twins have little soft helmets, and one says Goose and one says Maverick.
Maybe. I mean,
and I can install a little button on it that when you press it, it goes highway to.
Well, there'll be three because we have to adopt one. I feel like there's so many spare kids, you can't just like keep making new ones without like picking up one of the extras. So yeah, so we'll see maybe. I mean, do they have fighter planes with three of them? I don't really know. That's outside my skill set.
Breaks the illusion.
I know about useless things.
No, we can maybe keep it.
I love how you guys have been talking about how hot it is and it's 33 degrees. That's not hot. That's like fucking warm.
But it's hot and it's humid.
We're also in a cabin under loads and loads of lights.
Oh, I know it's hot in there, but you guys are like, oh, it's 30. You were saying to me last night, you're like, oh, it's 33 today. It's so hot, and I was like, dude,
33 degrees centigrade, not Fahrenheit.
I know that.
Yeah, but you guys have got a breeze. You're by the sea.
And you're in a desert where it's dry. It's 100% humidity and 33.
It's really
yeah, but it's like 44 here. Yeah. It doesn't matter if there's no humidity. You just you make your own humidity. You just start depleting. What do you call it? Sweating. Yeah.
That was a very the man fell from outer space moment.
Right, so any garnish?
No, at all.
No citrus and discard?
No, nothing. No, nothing.
What's happening?
It's a little clarified milk punch I made to bring here for us to have a little drinky.
Oh shit.
Lovely. What are you doing, Mitch?
Making vitamins. Shit, dropping vitamins on the floor.
Alright.
I better leave this actually. This talk.
Lol.
I'll call you guys afterwards when we're not on.
Yeah, we'll do that. That sounds like a plan.
Alright, be good, have fun.
In the interest of everyone not losing their minds,
because
it's been an hour and 12 minutes, we should call it. Right. So, I'll get rid of his giant S. Dude, we should have rectified that. So, thank you for watching, everybody. It's obviously a lot of fun in here, but I think I got carried away with just the fact that we were hanging out and forgot all about time. But it's been a pleasure. I'll see you next time. I'm going to press the outro button. Do we have any more comments for anyone? I don't know if anyone's watching. There's only been Mitch commenting. No?
Bye. Bye, Mitch. Bye, everyone else.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Awesome.